So the country is at a standstill economically, but you and me, well, we're going backwards. That's the wash-up of today's economic data for the December quarter. We're in a per capita recession. That's why it all seems so tough. The figures show that the national economy barely grew in the latest quarter. It was only up 0.2% in the 3 months to December. That's almost flatlining, of course. In fact, across the biggest states, New South Wales and Victoria, and in smaller states like Tasmania and South Australia, the economy was either stagnant or shrinking. It's the mining exports of Queensland and Western Australia that are holding the show together. Yet Treasurer Jim Chalmers seems smug as ever.
The economy grew a little, but not a lot. Growth in our economy was quite weak, as we have expected. Even weak growth is welcome growth in the circumstances.
Well, that's okay for him to say about the national economy, but for individuals, the story is much worse. When you account for the rapidly growing population, the size of the economy per capita, the GDP per capita, is falling. In fact, it's fallen a whole percentage point over the past year. In other words, far from the weak growth of the national economy, our individual wealth is going backwards. Every $100 we had a year ago is only $99 or less now, which is kind of the opposite of what Labor promised.
We've said that our priority is cost of living, putting that downward pressure on inflation whilst making sure that we provide support for families to make sure that we do what we can to put that downward pressure on cost of living whilst at the same time putting downward pressure on inflation.
Yeah, I think he's putting downward pressure on the economy, and the cost of living is still going up. We're getting the opposite of what Labor promised. Interest rates up, electricity prices up, fuel costs up, cost of living up, and GDP per capita falling. If you wondered why you were feeling poorer, there it is. Broken cost of living promises from Labor, and the worst could be yet to come. Why isn't the Albanese Labor government cutting fuel excise now? Why did they increase our taxes last year and then break their promise on stage 3 tax cuts, but not bring them in till July, still more than 3 months away? This government is meeting its promises to the United Nations. It's meeting its promises to the COP28 climate mob. It's meeting its promises to the unions and its promises to the climate activists. It's just not meeting its promises to you.